Hi everybody, here's Christian from Team Cast.
I was gonna ask the question, like, has there been the reality TV, like, extreme fetishes, or is that like a...
Well, yeah, there is that. It's on TLC.
You caught us in the middle of the discussion, dear listeners.
Yeah.
Yes, so this is our Let's Play of Monster Generations, and also discussion of fetishes and giant robots.
Don't search for that without safe search on.
Yes.
Don't search for that with safe search on. It doesn't matter either way.
Yeah, so we are going to fight some monsters today. What our monsters are we fighting today, except from our inner demons?
We are going to fight the angel that is Kieran. In the quest, it's electric. It's from the Practicality Scholar. Unexplained natural events have been occurring deep within Jurassic Frontier. Intriguing, don't you think? I believe it's a sign of a mystic beast, but you should go see it with your own eyes.
Okay. Let's do this.
Okay.
Yep.
It's electric.
It's electric.
That's exciting. I'm excited.
I like how we had like this very intense discussion, and suddenly it's like, you know, the air is out of the... It's like, oh, hi, Shepard.
No, I forgot to eat. Oh, well.
Let's hit this rock.
Getting some dragon amber chunks.
My pickaxe broke.
Do you need another one?
No, it's...
I'll share.
I have more.
Everyone gets the secret area, but
I'm not gonna get the butterfly. I'm okay.
I will get the butterfly.
You can. You do whatever feels good.
I want all the butterflies.
God, where does this guy even... Where would he even spawn? Oh, I've got Psycho Sword. Oh.
So there's also something I want to discuss. Some little details about Zelda.
Oh.
Yeah?
Yeah, my Switch is back.
Oh! And?
Yeah, I mean, they fixed it. It was broken. So
was your saved?
They just fixed the console itself. So
your save is still there.
It is there. Yeah,
wow.
I picked up right where I left.
That's amazing.
And you know, I don't know if I got my original Joy-Cons back or not. As you recall, the right one broke. The right thumbstick wouldn't click. And I included the left one, and I made a cheeky comment, like, just in case there's anything you guys want to do to this. I'm assuming it got the conductive foam insulation
inserted,
like, squirted in there.
So it's working again.
You can always open it up and find out.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a good console. I mean, the only thing that concerned me, of course, between all the shipping and stuff, if you know the screen would get damaged or scratched in any way. I think the hyperbole on the internet is like, oh, you know, your Switch will get scratched and get destroyed and all that. But you know, I'm not that concerned. I mean, as long as you're not jamming it up against other hard plastic things, I don't think it's going to get scratched.
And as long as you're, you know, not, I still haven't put my cover on mine because I'm just like, I don't jam it in there.
I've ordered
a
tempered glass thing, and I will put that on only because, you know, for a $300. How much will we pay for this damn thing? $300? $350?
Yeah, $300.
$300 for $300
plus tax.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to hear that there is like this happy ending to all of this. You've been quite concerned about losing your progress.
I mean, it would have been tough, but I'll say though, where I ended last night, I was just so joyful with exploring and fighting things. I must have spent 2 hours just running around killing things, not for any particular goal, just because.
Just joyful killing.
Yeah, I just like rolling up on camps and being like, all right, let's try and take them out.
Yeah.
And like, there's some Elder Scroll-esque like scaling of enemies in all areas where fights will always remain interesting because like stronger guys will show up. And no matter how powerful you are, things just do so much damage in that game that you're never quite safe.
It's I haven't witnessed this myself, but yeah, it seems like this is like a very dynamic kind of game that that kind of perpetuates
it's good.
What you really love about it.
Yeah, it feels.
Something I noticed, like I have a theory.
Okay.
I think one of the reasons why it feels so nice to be in this game, that's just be there and just hang out there, has to do with like the sound design.
It's good sound.
Especially like the footsteps.
Yeah. I mean, what you're walking on, I mean, that matters. You know, even if you're in, you know, snow, you know, you move a little bit slower.
Yeah, but also what I mean is like the sound you make when you walk around, it feels so nice and crunchy. And
oh, it's crunchy.
And it feels like it's just so satisfying to walk around and interact with stuff. Everything feels so neat and crisp.
Now you got the Wii U version, is that accurate?
Yes.
Yes. And you've been chugging along in there. No spoilers, but you know, about how many shrines you think you've done?
Oh, just a couple.
Just a couple, okay.
I just arrived at the village that you're supposed to go first. And man, like the woman that sells the arrows, it's making me uncomfortable.
That's her job. But arrows are the best thing in that game.
I know.
It's all I spend money on.
Yeah, me too. But also, like, she's a very thirsty person. She's thirsty for attention. For a very special kind of attention, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
And it seems like her husband...
The game doesn't really shy away from that stuff. It's kind of an adult game for Nintendo.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing. But also, I kind of have the desire to play this game in Japanese. Because I saw some footage.
Well, the voice acting is very good.
Not only that, I also saw some footage and the text in the game. Like, all the kanjis have, like, hiragana spelled out on top of them, like, for kids.
Oh.
So
apparently, like, the German version is the speedrunner's choice this time around.
Ooh, interesting. Why?
Because it adds that layer to the Japanese. There's actually fewer menus in the German version.
What?
Or for, like, text dialogue is actually shorter in the German version.
That's amazing. Usually German words are so much longer. Interesting.
Yep.
Fascinating. I love that. So yeah, I'm thinking about playing the game in Japanese at some point when my Japanese skill will get good enough.
Yeah, I mean the English voice acting, not on par. That's a great question, Christian. With how easy it is to change the language on stuff, what is your preferred language to play games in? If
I always play
else
English.
Okay. So even if there were a German version, you would still play English.
I can't play I can't stand English German translations. Usually, they are very awkward. I've yet to find a German translation of anything where I go like, yeah, that's good. That's a good translation. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's just like a lot of things that are because you get into those problems because Germans understand it like a lot of English proverbs, right?
Yes.
And then you get into this problem where it's like, are you going to just keep all those proverbs? Are you just going to keep it in English? But then you get like in this question, why are you even bothering translating stuff?
Right.
Or are we going to translate the proverbs in German, making them sound really awkward and really contrived? Like, for example, just yesterday we had the discussion of how you would translate the card, the Netrunner card. There is no such thing as free lunch.
That sounds like that should be relatively easy to translate.
Well,
but you'd have to know what it's referencing.
Yes. Actually, the card is called free lunch. And so, you know, how are we going to translate it? Are we going to just call it free lunch? Or are we going to call it, you know, kostenloses Essen, the German... Kostenloses Mittagessen, the German translation of free lunch? But then that makes no sense, like what? Because Germans don't have this proverb. But then, of course, a lot of Germans are aware of the proverb. So you might actually just get away with free lunch, the English version, but then it's like you're not actually doing in translation here. So what they ended up with, funny enough, is like an acronym. You know, T.
An acronym?
Sleep.
Yeah, TN, like the full acronym. There's no such thing. There is no such thing as free lunch, but as an acronym.
Oh, was he sleeping?
Yep.
Oh no!
I said it.
Christian,
Well,
what have you
There
done?
we go.
I didn't do anything.
We got the horn. That's all I really cared
Did
about.
I do something?
He was sleeping.
Did I wake him up?
You did.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
With like
It's
a
all right.
little hit to like his paw. That's okay.
I'm sorry. I thought he was on the ground. Anyway, it's kind of like
No, are you
translations are amazing. And also something that occurred to me, speaking of translations. So recently I've been... So I'm learning Japanese, right?
Yes.
But I'm learning it in English.
What?
Well, because most of the material, like really good...
Probably a lot more materials, English, Japanese than...
Yes.
But like
German.
when you are
Japanese.
native... Alright, so when you are thinking... I know this is a really difficult question to answer. Are you thinking in English or are you thinking in German most of the time?
No, I'm thinking in German. That's fine. I used to think in Polish, but that switched very early on when I was a kid.
So you go from German to English to Japanese.
I guess. Well, the weird thing is like I'm learning it. No, I'm not doing that kind of mental break. I'm just going.
I mean, you will understand the intuitive meaning at certain points.
Yeah, I'm just like there is no like double translation going on. But when, for example, when there's mnemonics, you know, where it's like, oh, this word sounds like because it sounds like you know, those mnemonics I use the English mnemonics. So, for example, in, you know, reading hiragana, for example, where it's like, you know, is it a ki or gu or ka or whatever, then I use the English mnemonics. But English is such a bad language to use mnemonics for this kind of stuff, because English is very inconsistent in the way it pronounces vowels.
Sure is.
Yeah, so for example, ki, K-I, the mnemonic is like, it looks like a key, K-E-I, Y. So it's like the spelling is different than the pronunciation. And it's very confusing to me because I always think about this spelling and not about the pronunciation. So yeah, it sucks.
Come on. Yeah!
Oh, you blew me up.
But it felt good.
Oh,
There
yes!
I hate using a heavy bowgun on Kieran.
He's very tiny.
Actually, good strat is everybody rocking bowguns going pellet all the time. Or at least it used to be. I don't know if it still is.
So Selfish makes this point, even though I'm Finnish myself, I tend to think in English when I'm dealing with stuff in English. Often it sticks, and I keep thinking English a long time afterwards. Yeah, I guess it's with me similar. Like when I do like podcasting, I guess I think I'm more in English.
It's difficult because I can't say I've ever attained real fluency in another language. I mean, I've studied Chinese for quite a while, but I wouldn't say I was ever fluent enough in it that I was starting to mix up my words. One thing that is weird that happens is like when you're learning a new language, at least for me, I would sometimes pull out other information from other languages I had learned as a replacement.
Mm-hmm.
Like coming up with like the word for food in Chinese, right? When I'm first learning it, I might start saying the word for food in Spanish. Because I learned some Spanish. Yeah. That's a weird moment.
Yeah.
Because now you've morphed 3 languages together.
Yeah, but sometimes like that's why I actually like this whole learning experience for Japanese has been really great, and I can just recommend, because as a kid, you know, in high school, you're like, ugh, learning languages, blah, you know, blah, that thing that I have to do again, you know. But now I come like really to enjoy and appreciate it. It's really great. And there's like this great thing where suddenly you realize something about the language you already know about, because you learn a new language. And I think that was like one of the things that I noticed with learning those mnemonics in English, where I realized like English is really weird about the way it pronounces vowels. It's so crazy inconsistent and so ridiculous. Like even the fact that I is I and E is E, like the pronunciation is E, because in Germany I is E and E is E. It's really weird, and you realize this once you learned other languages, and you realize that other people do it differently, and it's great. I love it. You should do it as well.
I is E, E is A. A is what?
A is A.
Ah, okay. All right. Well, we can at least all agree on that.
Yeah. But the fact is I, and in English, but I is E in German is great. And everywhere else in Polish as well. Like it's very like a very unique spelling of this vowel in English. It's very confusing for people to learn when they learn English as well. Languages are weird. Yay.
Weird. And we're not even on the metric system. Deal with it, world.
Oh gosh, don't get me started on that. Let us move on to the next quest, where we do some other things, and it'll be exciting. Hope you'll join us next time around. As always, good luck and good hunt.
Bye-bye!
I
love you.
Feeling like you're always carrying around a powder stone? Squatty Potty. Take a load off. Brought to you by Squatty Potty.